with that team fight in the top half of the map.
Yeah.
It was about 14 minutes. Before then, they were down by a kill. After that, completely ran away with it. Bacchus Karthus, pretty good.
Bacchus Karthus pretty good, and Flandre definitely having a great game on that Trundle. And Crystal's Draven does not need a mention here as M3. They're going to ban that one away, and Rise also going to hit the bench again as well. Dade not going to see that one as you mentioned before, and Looper actually banning the Maokai, which is very interesting. I mean, Flandre, he's moved away from that. He's sort of past that at this stage.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's trying out new things, and I really like what Snake is doing heading into playoffs. Still playing the games very seriously, but with different compositions, proving
Mixing
that,
it up.
hey, we are not a one-trick pony. We don't just play Protect the Crystal like a lot of people have criticized us for. We have threats all over the map, particularly in the top lane, and you need to take us seriously.
Yeah, and the Urgot going to be taken away here. That is an understandable ban. Almost exactly the same bans to come through here from Snake, but on the red side this time around. And anything sticking out for you here, Spawn, as far as first pick potential?
Yeah,
the Callista is there.
Yeah, Callista is the one thing that you probably don't want to give away. The other thing is something like a Janna, something like a Thresh, just that Ala plays so well. But it will be the Callista, making sure the Crystal, he hasn't got the Draven, he hasn't got the Callista. What's he going to pick up as a third string AD carry?
Yeah, hang on. Crystal plays a lot of things. So he could actually pick up the Kog'Maw here if he wants to. Does have a few other options.
Yeah, Kognami is available if they want to go a bot lane mount, right? Beast, he's taking another look at the Grungle. That went very well. And actually, Baka, he said, you got to have it last game. I didn't enjoy it very much. I am taking my Xerath back, Dade. And we'll see what Dade plays into it.
Yeah, Dade now with an opportunity to take a little bit of time to pick up his option. Of course, Azir is available as well. Dade and Baka, both fantastic Azir players, but what with Xerath always historically having a decent time against that champion, he may not decide to go for it. As Condi, he's looking at a Jarvan here as well. And he's more than happy to stick back a few patches.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be that way. And the classic M3 bottom lane coming through. Love CD and SMLMZ going for the Candy Love CD bottom lane that they used to such great effect with the Callista as well as the Thresh.
Yeah, now Snake looking at some options here as well as Crystal. He's actually hovering the Corki this time for himself. I don't know about that on this patch. I just don't think it's quite the same pickup as the Kog'Maw. Going to make a whole lot more sense if he wants to go that route. Clicking on MF for a second.
That's a hard lane though. If you go the Kog'Maw, no sustain coming into the lane. Doesn't really have the benefit of Nami giving you that speed boost to get your auto attacks in and out.
True.
Look for a lane swap to come through here, and through Looper's summoner spells, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say there is a potential Hecarim about to be locked in.
There may potentially be a horse to be taken into this top lane, and Snake, I mean, they have the option of picking whatever they want against it, but we'll see what they decide to do because, of course, he wants to build a Trinity Force. I mean, the Trundle, not necessarily the best pickup here.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I think it's for. Go a little bit more aggressive in your build path, get something done. And we'll see exactly how that one works out. Dade taking a long look at LeBlanc in response to this Xerath. It is locked in.
My goodness, and we've seen Barker deal with LeBlancs before, but of course Dade has a bit of a team on his back. He definitely wants to perform this time round, and if there's a playmaking champion in the mid lane, it's most definitely LeBlanc.
It certainly is, so we'll see exactly how he goes with that one. He's had some up and down games.
Yeah.
I actually had one very good LeBlanc game from memory where around a dragon fight he went crazy, and I kind of changed my opinion about the pickup altogether, but we'll see exactly how it can go.
Speaking of exactly how it can go, it is going to be Flandre having a look at the dragon once more. The horse versus dragon matchup.
This could be just, once again, Flandre completely ignoring his top laner and taking spot.
Yeah, he is. He's done it again. He wants to build that Cinder Hulk, and he wants to just not even consider Looper as being a part of this game.
Yeah, so for those that didn't watch yesterday, Flandre did this in game 1, I believe.
It was.
And just didn't lane. Just pushed the wave out and then went and just counter jungled everything. He killed, I think,
800 Gromps. There were so many dead Gromps that game. I was so upset. My goodness. It was a, hashtag save the Gromps, please, because the whole Snake lineup, they were killing every Gromp on the map whenever it respawned. And Apparently dragons, they're not a fan of frogs. It's just not a thing.
Are. And he had the glowing fist going from the Krugs.
Yeah.
We get to see it again, Atlas. The Shyvana with the smite.
Oh my goodness. No flashes to be had in that top side of the map. That's not what you want. When you've got a long-range ultimate like that, don't take flash. Dade into Barker here in the mid lane. The LeBlanc versus Xerath. Pretty old matchup here as far as if looking back to the start of the LPL is concerned. And SMLZ up against Crystal now, a very aggressive Cogmore player.
Yeah, certainly is. You round it out with the Thresh versus Janna. Very old matchup and a lot of pressure now on SMLZ and Love CD to get ahead in this lane. Dade needs some help on this map, guys. Someone needs to step up and actually, I guess, assist in some of the heavy lifting if M3 are going to have any hope of making playoffs. I want to see who it is. You look towards the bottom lane. Maybe Looper on Hecarim can have a better showing, but Snake looked like they were fairly comfortable.
Yeah, Snake didn't really feel under too much pressure that last game. Of course, able to take out every dragon that they felt like apart from that fourth one, but then just winning a team fight. We'll see whether it happens again, ladies and gentlemen, as we hop onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, M3 taking on Snake for the second time here today. Unable to quite clinch a victory last time, but we'll see whether that can turn around here. As Snake, they're going to find Looper hanging out in his own jungle. Probably not where he wants to be, but he is going to be safe. The burnout from Flandre allowing him to get a few extra auto attacks off, but meaning that he can't clear out wards instantly.
They're going to kill this ward. Good move from Condi. They're just dropping the flag instead. You could see exactly what they were going for there. They wanted to be able to get the auto attacks off to kill that ward, but scouted it with the flag. Actually a sentinel running around in the jungle as well.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on here. A lot of backs to come through, as well as Dade's going to take away that ward there. And M3 create a bit of havoc here as far as removing
They've
vision
got the
is
2v2.
concerned.
They've actually scouted it out. In one way, I think this suits Shyvana very well because going to be able to bully the Hecarim at least early and go do some counter jungling. But, Crystal and Alla want nothing to do with it. The immediate recall coming through.
Yeah, they see them walk past that ward there, as well as Condi. He's going to start this Gromp. And they definitely did not want the standard lanes upside down situation. And that's going to mean that no free is going to happen here on the bottom side. A lot of creeps are going to die as Cogmore has to walk this whole way through. Beast starting off on the red buff here as Looper is able to take away the Raptors. Often dangerous, but Flandre, he's actually going for a potential blue buff. And just going to take away possibly just the little Sentinels here.
Yeah, so he's going to look to take away the Sentinels, then probably move towards the Gromp, you would think. And just pick himself up as much gold and experience as he can get in the early game. Shyvana, with the change to a W, doing extra damage to minions, flies through the jungle early, but you have to remember that these guys hit very hard. Looking for some support from Alla to come through. He wants the shield over the wall. Yep. Will it be enough? I still don't think it is.
No, he's running back again as well, as this is definitely a struggle. Ella saying, okay, I'll hold your hand. I'll tank this one up for you. It'll be fine. And then finally the smite comes back up here as well. Flandre going to head back to base. Does have a slight advantage as far as the creep score is concerned, taking a couple of those camps, but still wasn't necessarily all that successful.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask the question of Flandre again. He goes the Ruby Crystal stuff, but does like 3 camps of jungling. Just pick up the Hunter's Machete.
Yeah. Of course, it doesn't help him in lane, I guess, which
but
might be the argument.
He can upgrade it. He can go back right now. He's taken enough gold to upgrade it into his Skirmisher Saber, if he so chooses.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really have the excuse available.
And he's still jungling. This is the thing. It's not like he's now in a lane with boots and much better off. He's still trying to jungle.
Actually, the Scuttle Crab is there. You may as well take that, Flandre. You've got the smite almost back up again. Nope. I'm not going to go for that one.
That is
either.
one of the more frustrating buffs to actually try and take. Oh, nice combo coming through from Dade.
Yeah, beautiful chain going to land there as well. Actually manages to get the tether at the same time as Looper. Actually getting followed here by a lot of members. Ella forced to use that flash straight away as the devastating charge from Looper is going to come through. But Crystal with that shield, the Eye of the Storm, giving him a lot more AD, able to answer back with a fair bit of damage with that W also. Kalista still on that top side, so it's not going to be a swap back here from SMLZ as Flandre going to make it towards this top side. Only level 3 to the level 4 Kalista, but Flandre probably going to still be okay in this lane as Lupa actually able to pick up some farm here under the turret, and Crystal wants to freeze this one back up.
Yeah, so it looks like they want to freeze it both sides of the map. And SMLZ trying to freeze it on the top side, although Flandre from that will be able to pick up a lot of CS as it pushes in because he doesn't really have to worry about being harassed. All the creeps will do exactly that and take off more health than you actually took off the dragon.
Yep, and Flandre just smites away the cannon creep there as well, just because he can. And Snake, they're going to start off the dragon here, noting the fact that they have a few extra members there on the bottom side. Teleport was used by Flandre, so of course they don't have that support. Lupa can actually come in if he wants to, but they have no vision around here to M3. They don't know that this dragon is going on. They probably think that there might be something there, but the Stormkeeping Beast very healthy, and Ella just going to switch up, grab a bit of that one as well. Actually, Crystal going to get knocked back there, forced to use the flash. That is a big deal, but the dragon does eventually fall here for Snake.
Yeah, it certainly does, and this is weird coming out of Lupa and Condi. They just shoved that wave really hard, and now it's going to freeze on Lupa.
Interesting.
So that was a strange life choice 101. And once again, Flandre, he's just still jungling. I'm really going to push this Hunter's Machete as far as it will go. If you are still jungling at the 6-minute mark, you're a jungler. Just buy a Hunter's Machete.
Yeah, he might be sort of building it just to confuse people, but when you've taken Smite, Flandre, people know that you're probably going to build a jungle item.
So he gets a very early Balmy Cinder. That is one thing that we can note from that, as Dade takes half of his health from a combo.
Yeah, Barker really managing to lay down some pain here. Does only have an extra amplifying tome, and looks like he is potentially going to be going for the Athene's Unholy Grail also, but now level 5 has a whole lot of points into that Arcano Pulse, and it's starting to really destroy these waves, and Dade going to have to use his abilities to take them down as opposed to getting some extra harass onto Barker, as Flandre and Ella, they are going to clear out some wards here on the top side. The duo is still here as well, as there's the ultimate to come through from Dade. Does land the chain as Condi's come around. He does try to slow him down on the way in as Barker has used the barrier. It's not enough, and Condi again picks up the kills, and Dade just wants first blood, man.
Look at his face. He's like, do not gank my lane anymore. Stay away from my lane. They get the first blood. It's fantastic coming through from M3. As that was the highest hook that missed on an X-axis, I think.
That was very cool.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, Dade, he just can't catch a break.
No, he really, really can't. And I mean, we're talking about this, like, it's great that the team's getting kills, but don't give it to your jungler when you've got a mid lane that really wants to snowball here, as Shane is going to land on a beast, but he just does not care at all about any damage that's coming through because he's Gragas. He's going to have that Cinder Hulk pretty soon and just be a pretty tanky fat guy.
But a much different early game coming through here for M3. They can pick up the first turret whenever they want. Of course, that fortification falling away now, I think. About the 7-minute mark, maybe the 8 that one dissipates. So they look like they can get that going. In the bottom lane, Lupa, he's having a little bit of difficulty now with the Void Puppy.
Yeah, Crystal with a very cool green skin, sort of the hipster skin, bit of an old one.
Oh, Ella.
Oh, actually, SMLZ going to use the Fate's Call to get Love City under the tower there as well. But Ella, he's going to be fine. Love City tanking up this turret a lot. The teleport to come through from Lupa. Beast just makes his way underneath the turret.
Hit the turret once, guys.
Yeah, the creep had it. Don't you worry about that. Snake maybe relying on that a little bit too much, but Love City falls down. Flandre's up in this fight, but in comes Dade at the same time. A double kill now. He's picking them up, as you can see, off the backside of this one. And it's a 2-for-1 in the end as Flandre fell. And Barker is just saying, team, what are you doing fighting? I'm in the mid lane.
And more importantly, they were able to grab the first turret. So they'll be able to match the all-important first rotation that comes out of Snake. Looks like Crystal will also be able to pick it up in the bottom lane, but this isn't going to be the case of where Snake is dictating the pace of the game, running M3 around. Won't even get the turret, so M3, they're 2,000 gold in the lead.
Yep, 2,000 gold in the lead, and there's no response to come through at any time soon for Snake. Of course, having a Kog'Maw on your team is definitely fantastic for the late game. Xerath, no slouch either. We saw Dade doing fantastic things on him in the last matchup, but Shyvana as well. I mean, we haven't spoken about her here in the LPL, but she definitely scales beautifully towards that later stage of the game. So many resistances from that Dragon's Descent are going to come in, And now Crystal does have at least half the way towards...
But they're really looking to pick on the no flash pickup here from Flandre. He's going to have to ultimate out, and there's nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, Dade actually going to land the chain here as well. Does get locked down from it. Flandre with no more ability to move, and he is definitely going to fall down. The cute little smite, and Dade picks up his 3rd in a row.
And they're starting to give the kills over to the assassin. You could see them pull off their Atlas. Yep. Dade demanding the gold this time around, and he's in a real position to shut out this game.
Yeah, Beast going for a steal here on the red buff, but the bottom lane are collapsing on it. He doesn't necessarily have as much of the control as he would have otherwise had, but no vision available here for M3. They're just going to take down the Krogs, unbeknownst to them, losing a red buff in the meantime. Barca looking to at least cheat towards this bottom side. They want to put some pressure on, and Snake, they need to start making moves because they're getting dictated to by M3 this time around.
Oh, this might be the move right here. Condi's being caught.
Yeah, there's the shocking orb to come through as well. The ultimate comes down from Barca. He does manage to at least move around this map a little bit, but Dade picks up yet another kill. The flash coming through from Barca picks up one, and we'll see whether Dade can answer with any more as the shocking orb comes down. Nice Arcano Pulse to get at least half the health off of Dade, but he's not finished just yet. The Mimic Distortion to come through as the chains land. Oh my goodness, the Arcano Pulse was there to save Ella, but Dade, he's looking very scary now.
He certainly is, and that was a good move from Condi, throwing himself back into the fight, trading the kills 1-for-1, because at this point of the game, no one is stronger than LeBlanc if you are able to get some kills. Maybe Ari, throw her up there and deleting people off the map in the mid game, but you can just see from that how much damage Dade is going to do, and Flandre, he's got his boots too now. Hasn't gone for any of the Mercury treads to try and get away from the CC that's being provided here. Instead, looking to deal with Kalista in the late game with the Ninja Tabby coming through. But
oh my goodness, dodges out of the way of the abilities, gets a cute little auto attack in. Of course, both of these mid laners now with the red buff as well. They want to be trading auto attacks, but using the distortion out on an angle like that means that Barca just has no idea where Dade's going.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't. Very unpredictable movement. Barca being able to shove in that lane, but Dade, he's ranked up. That W now can push back, and we can see even Lupa not having a great time, but he can go up and farm against this. Whoa.
Yeah, for the next little while. Condi attempting to try and get in here.
That was just a very well-read play coming out of Crystal and Ella there. They were away before that gank even eventuated.
Yeah, but it does give an opportunity for M3 to go for this dragon as well. Speaking of dragons, Flandre going to head back, might be able to pick up his Cinderhulk. Actually decides not to here. He has the teleport, but they're going to let this first dragon for M3 go. And that's an evening out of the dragons.
Flandre sheds a single tear for a long-lost cousin in a faraway land.
Yeah, a little bit sad. Of course, isn't quite a dragon at the moment. But, you know, when that descent comes through, might have to take a little bit of a moment's silence there for fallen brethren. Dade going to make his way back towards that mid lane as well. M3 were looking at making something happen there on the bottom side, but again, Snake with some heads-up decision-making. And then just head back there. And Phage being picked up now from Crystal, has a dagger now in his back pocket as well. Also with a pink ward, so a little bit of extra vision available for our Snake lineup, but almost towards that Trinity Force where Kog'Maw is going to have a big spike of power. And it is great that you can have a hyper carry like this, able to build a Trinity Force to give yourself at least some sort of ability to make an impact in this mid-game.
Yeah, definitely agree. And that was really the resurgence of Kog'Maw when the Trinity Force build came through. It's just such a clean power curve for a late-game hyper carry. It's not like the Vayne where you have a noticeable dip.
Was it Genja that started it off?
It certainly was. The Time Lord.
Oh my goodness. I believe Snake might actually be Oscar. It's not true, of course. Genja didn't play very much Draven, but definitely not to the level that Crystal's able to. Is Condi just going to
I like how that's why you don't think it's them. Not because you can obviously see Snake sitting in their seats, just because Genja didn't play Draven.
It's about spirits, you know. It's about the spirit of the team, you know. Maybe if Dade was in the mid lane, because then you've got the Rise there as well. Beautiful. Okay, I think we've gone too deep on this one. Flandre going to continue farming there on the top side of the map. You can see the bottom lane of M3 are going to head back as well. Beast spent a lot of time in the enemy jungle, but Condi also going to get wise to it, stealing away the red buff here, as Lupa was hanging out at the same time.
And Lupa's doing a really good job of playing Flandre's game. He's taking a wave, then roaming towards the mid lane, seeing what he can get done. as Dade goes in deep again, gets half the health. Needs to be careful because there is a Gragas around the lane, but Dade's having a much better performance than we've seen in the laning phase. Dade's been playing much better throughout the mid-late game, but honestly got smashed yesterday by Rookie in the laning phase.
Yeah.
Today, his laning phase even looks on point. He's really showed up to play.
Yeah, and we have sort of had our doubts here about his LeBlanc in the past. Actually,
dead.
oh my goodness, dodging away as best as he can. Not one of the bolts going to land from Barker. Dancing shoes were on.
And that is the first time I have ever seen Barker throw out a Xerath ultimate and not hit one.
Yep.
Fantastic play coming through from the mid laner of M3. And Barker maybe a bit of frustration creeping in because he threw a couple of those a little bit wide.
He certainly did, and Dade didn't really have to move at all for the last couple, but it was still very well juked. I mean, I guess if he had to let them go through and he stood still, he would have been hit by at least one of them, so you have to hand it to Dade just a little bit. But
for moving.
Yeah, aim wasn't exactly true here for Barker thus far. We'll see whether it is actually a sign of frustration or whether, you know, it's just maybe just that one miss that we're going to go to. Of course, Crystal has completed the Trinity Force. Double Cinderhulks now available for Flandre and Beast, as Flandre might have been caught, forced to use the Dragon Descent, but still gets locked up as Dade looking to try and create some pressure. Flandre in a whole lot of trouble, and that is the 1v1 against the tanky Shyvana.
Yeah, and maybe regretting not picking up the Merc Treads because he was held in place for a very long time from the Ethereal Chains, and Dade another solo kill, 5-0-1-1 now, 6-6 kill participation. Having a field day with his Snake liner.
Yeah, the passive was proc there just a little bit in the mid lane. Oh my goodness, here's the gank to come through. Beautiful Howling Gale is there, but Condi, he's going to try and lock up Beast. There's the Fates call. He's going to get the Gragas out of it as Looper comes into this one, but that explosive cast was fantastic. No! The death sentence onto Ella, and SMLZ is going to lock down the kill, and Beast in the end going to die in the back line. Of course, the Ignite on the top lane and not something. Oh my goodness, Barker misses the shocking orbit. Oh my gosh, gets locked down by the chains. There's the ultimate. Is he going to be able to land it? One more bolt. No! Another triple miss as he goes for the attempted look at the back to the distortion, and oh, you can see on his face he's not happy with how this one's going.
He is certainly not happy at all, Atlas. What a play coming out, this straight up duel. All the summoner spells being used, and this game has lifted to another level. Snake want the 3 points to really secure second spot, but M3 fighting for their playoff lives. Looking fantastic.
They are looking very much better in this game. I was going to say they're looking great, but of course did have a relative shutout in the last game. This is a very different looking M3. And Lupa now looking to be a menace here in the jungle. He's had a free time. Now with a Trinity Force completed of his own, 1-0-4, 3 CS in the lead, and this is what we expect from the world champion top laner. He has been caught out a little bit by Beast, but Barker not able to tag him with anything as Flandre still in that top side. Dade looking to get something done. Look, you can see he just wants to murder people on the Rift.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he's in a very good position to be able to do just that. Going back, picked up another blasting one, and through all the kills, and it's been an impressive performance, he still has equal CS, has been able to completely go toe-to-toe in this, as we see, the bait in from Looper.
Oh, but Flandre not going to have any of it. The distortion over the wall here doesn't land the chain. That is the combo of the QR, but doesn't quite land enough. Of course, 5.6. That has been nerfed just a little bit. Is Barker going to clear out this mid wave? And Flandre not going to be caught out this time. Didn't even need to use the ult.
But you can see, even from the... really nice tornadoes every single time coming through from Alan. Might be in some trouble, though.
Yeah, Crystal is still here to try and help him out. But there's the Cataclysm to come down. Living Artillery not going to do anything and just spike to death. And that kill probably could have gone over to SMLZ, but we'll give it to him as Dade looking to try and lock down Barker. Another chain's going to land. Death sentence named pretty well here as Love City going to pick it up with the box. And M3 easy transition into the Dragon. And this is looking like basically the same game as last time, but the team names have been switched.
Yeah, it certainly does. And this is the most on point we have seen M3 probably this season, very much playing
apart
as
from
a
their
team.
first performance against Snake.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that the way that Looper is currently playing, not caring about his lane, rotating around the map, being a facilitator, is always been when Looper has been a good player. He's laning phase has honestly always been called out for not being that fantastic. Always been known for his...
Oh dear, Dade is just toying with Flandre
That was
now.
kind of amusing to watch, actually. He's always been known for his good teleporting, the fact that he just obnoxiously pushes out waves, doesn't care about his direct laning opponent, and runs around the map, and you see, actually, Beast being caught.
Yeah, Looper has found him here. Another chain's going to land, but it is going to be the explosive shot that is going to get him out of that one. Oh my goodness, just the ultimate from Looper to lock down that kill as Barker throws a skill just randomly by the looks of things. Is Dade going to lock down yet another chain? I want to know exactly how many he's hit, because there hasn't been very many missed chains this game.
Yeah, there certainly hasn't, and he's having a field day, and this is fantastic to see.
Cute.
These guys opening up their champion pools, bringing in new ones, and Looper now with the Trinity Force finished off for a while. He's got his boots too, 2-0 on 4, fantastic game for him.
Yep, Fate's calling to Barker here though in the mid lane. Does manage to land a bit of follow-up damage, but the death sentence is there, and SMLZ locks himself up yet another kill. Actually, his first for the game, now second. Barker is going to fall, and my goodness, this M3 lineup. This Kalista pick seems to have just worked out beautifully, but you have to say, Dade, this is the best we've seen him on this champion so far in the LPL.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be that way. Is really up to him and Condi to dictate the flow of the game. Give some credit to the jungler. Condi's been absolutely omnipresent this time around.
He has.
Crucially, he scores in the correct order, 2, 1, and 6.
Yeah.
Has given over a lot of the kills to the carries, really made sure that Kalista, as well as the Hecarim and LeBlanc, are in the positions they need to carry these games out. The tanks, they get tanky incidentally because of the new Sing into Hulk item. Everything you pick up pretty much has health on it if you are a jungler.
True.
The lockets, the Banshee's Veils, things like that. So you get a lot tankier than you would have otherwise. And just being able to give all that gold over for some damage means that they're just cutting through Flandre and Beast quicker than you would otherwise expect.
But are they still sort of pigeonholed into a mid-game comp, or is having this Kalista and the Hecarim going to really help them out as far as that late game is concerned? Because, of course, Kog'Maw and Shyvana still fantastic in their own right towards the later stages of the game.
Yeah, they certainly are, but I think Hecarim still is probably the best late game top laner. He just gets so tanky with his W as well.
Oh my goodness, Beast is getting chunked out here. You wouldn't think that he... Oh my good, how did he manage to weave that one in there? Beautiful Howling Gale here as well, as there's the passive going to be popped, but Crystal's here, and that's going to be the kill going over to Beast. Kog'Maw probably would have liked it, but Dade finally gets shut down.
Yeah, he certainly does, and that was just an over-aggressive play. Nearly getting the snipe through was Barker there as well. And now Snake, they're on the aggressive for the first time, and we see them do this time and time again. They finally get a little bit of a window. They try and push it. Let's see if M3 can turn it around. Yeah,
Bioarcane Barrage is allowing Crystal to at least get some shots on this turret. It is relatively low. Of course, they haven't picked up one yet this game. 12-3 is the kill score. 6,000 gold now in the lead here for M3, and a lot of that is to do with the fact that they have every outer turret.
Yeah, and it was just one kill onto a jungler. So in all, yeah, not a great play coming through from Dade, getting caught out like that in the mid lane, but because Snake weren't able to capitalize, it's not going to mean anything.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Sentinel going to be taken down by Crystal as he kills yet another Gromp. Snake the Gromp killers, most definitely on this one, as Barker going to help clear out this wave here just a little bit. And that's going to be no worries at all. They don't have any jungle left, and this is what happens when you got multiple smites. You want to be using them in the enemy jungle. And at the moment, I mean, those smites are not going to be used here because, I mean, there's nowhere for Flandre to go. He's relegated to, you know, defending against Looper as opposed to pushing like he was the last time he played this setup.
Yeah, it certainly does look to be that way. Can't underestimate how much it will do in a late game situation against the Kalista being able to dive in their smite and get rid of some of the damage that will be coming through.
Yeah, true.
So it still is a good pickup, but you're correct. Throughout the laning phase, it just didn't have the same impact that we saw. Not enough Gromps fell in favor of the Dragon to really get him to that point.
And that was very, very cute from Beast, walking around the vision range of that Sentinel so that it didn't pop off. He's going to be able to kill that one as well. Some nice defensive warding to come from Snake as well. They are at least good at playing from behind here just to try and keep themselves in position because they're one of the teams that's managed to at least make these Kog'Maw comps work out. These comps that really want to be scaling towards the later stages. So when they are tested like this with some early game pressure, they are able to at least counter that one a little bit.
Yeah, they certainly are looking to stall this one out for as long as possible. I don't know if they have an outright win in the late game. They definitely are stronger in some positions in the late game. Notably the AD carry role, where I think with this build, Kalista does fall away a little bit, and Kog'Maw is only going to get better. But it's, as I said, M3, they're not a horrible late-game comp. They're definitely very mid-game focused, but they can get some things done in the late game, noticeably because there's not that much protection for the Kog'Maw. Dade, if he keeps going like this, we'll just kill him.
Yeah, and Crystal not going to be able to do much. Oh, actually, is one of the only AD carries that can do stuff after he's dead. So a Cathian Surprise going to do some work here in the late game. Definitely some value. Arcane Pulse from Barker going to clear out this wave, and he is able to at least answer the push that is coming through. But M3, they have a monopoly of vision around this Dragon buff, and it is going to be the third one available for them. And it was 3-1 in Dragons the last time we saw these teams meet up, which was only moments before. But it was the other way around, and Snake will see how they manage to react to this pressure from M3, because Snake, when they have a lead like that, they just win a decisive team fight. But we'll see whether M3 can still do that themselves.
Might have been caught out. Ooh. He must have...
What?
Okay, so I think they were going to check Baron, and then Looper ran past it, and Dade saw it was safe, so it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go check it then, and just turned around. What it really looked like, though, was that Dade was a sidekick and read Beast's mind, and when I can sense someone in here, there is a disturbance in the force, I'm not going into the brush.
Yeah, that was his midi-chlorians are definitely going off this game by the looks of things. I'm just going to assume that that's what it was there, as Crystal clearing out this wave now as well. They're doing a decent defensive job here, as Flandre is going to be able to get the top lane. Every wave that is shoved in does have an answer here from Snake, and not too much grouping is going on here for M3. With a short-range AD carry as well, they don't have a whole lot of siege.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of siege, but what they do have is some pretty good neutral control with the Kalista. So as long as Jarvan keeps scaling up, keeps getting tankier, there will be a point in the game where they can start up that Baron and chuck, like, the 100 spears in it.
Yep.
And then Snake have to come fight, because there's no way you can outsmite it. So you can't even take the 50-50. Some games it's better if you're stalling to just go, all right, we're going to give them this one. We'll try and take the 50-50, give up one death, retreat back into our base. But with the Kalista, you don't have that option. You either outright give it up and not go near it, or you just try and fight for it. And Snake always been a team that likes these scrappy brawls. So in about 5 minutes, you would think that that would be the plan from M3. Secure the next Dragon, Dragon number 4, and then make Snake fight over the Baron buff.
Yeah, or just stall out for the 5th Dragon here as well is another option that they could go for. Of course, that 5th Dragon buff very, very strong. Another chain going to land. Actually, Barker going to get locked down from that one as well. The Ignite's been used, but the barrier's there as well. And Dade, easiest 1v1 of his life, but he's going to get locked down from this one. The Smite
Baron
to come through even. Baron's been started up. They both have 4 members alive on M3, and without Dade, they may not have the pick potential around this fight. Love City taking a whole lot of damage. It's only down to about 4,000 health as Loopers come in here as well. Dragon's Descent right in amongst it, but look at the Baron damage from that Ren is huge there as Snake getting torn apart in this one. Kalista still at full health as Crystal has to deal with this horse. He's going to die. No, he's not. Not quite yet. The flash into the play. Love City going to take him down, but Kalista picks up the kill, and SMLZ is just wrecking this team fight. Flandre gonna die as well as Looper with a casual auto attack. No, doesn't even manage to take it down as the triple kill for SMLZ. And what a whitewash for M3.
Yeah, M3 coming up massive. The very clear shot call of start the Baron up, and we said that Snake aren't a team to let a team fight go if it is presented 4v4, and they were outclassed.
They were. There was nothing that they could do there, and I thought that maybe with the explosive cast, maybe you could get the Kalista out of the way, but look at that Ren damage. That is insane. 2,000 health? Insane.
Yeah, and this is where it really went their favor. Looper, through the exhaust, is dealing with the hyper carry. No one else that Kog'Maw can hit because of that Trinity Force being able to get in there. People are trying to peel, but not really that much peel there, and nails him with the hook right here, gets dunked by Condi. And from there, as soon as you get the 1 kill, we say at Atlas, not good at busting these tanks. If Kalista is able to free hit the AD and get the first Ren set off, going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and he certainly demonstrated that in that last fight, and we'll see whether Snake can come back through this one, because of course someone has to deal with Looper. Looper is just an absolute beast in these fights. Flandre now has a Thornmail completed, but with only that Spectre's Cowl, we've seen it done before. Dade, with his Death Cap Athenes, almost a Void Staff as well, he might be able to deal with that Dragon.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be that's what Dade is looking at. As soon as he gets that blitz stuff, no one is safe because there's just not enough magic resist on the other lineup or effective health pool coming through. You have to say the one thing about Lupa's build, Flandre's build, hasn't got a lot of effective health in there for the Cinderhulk passive to be able to take over. So any little bit helps because it's a good item on a standalone purchase, but this isn't that huge beefy Shyvant that we saw yesterday.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have the Warmogs completed for that massive health pool, and now the Baron buff is going to be contended for here from Snake. They have to deal with this Siege minion that Crystal is able to auto-attack to death with that Bio-Arcane Barrage, but he has to...
he's got the flank behind here, does Lupa.
Oh, Barker is in so much trouble. Look at that devastating charge. That is ridiculous. Dade picks up the kill there in the end as the fight's going to break out. There's, in fact, the ultimate to come through from Kalista there as the Cataclysm comes down onto Beast, but he's pretty tanky. Death Sentence going to land Crystal. Lupa's just diving him underneath the turret. He got it! And he's going to take him out and might even take down Ella as well. He's not dead. A Cathian surprise there at the same time. What is this? This is insane. Just takes the Lantern, goes on a magical journey outside the base as Flandre, he's getting aggressed on by Dade here, lands the chain. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. And where was this M3 in the last game?
Where's this M3 been all season, Atlas?
Good point.
Looking a lot better. 10,000 gold in the lead. There's still 20 seconds on a lot of the carries. They'll probably just back away, recall, pick up the 4th dragon afterwards. But Lupa coming up huge this game. And we talked about how good Snake's lineup looked late game. You got a 4-0-9 pony running around the Rift. He's going to be doing a little bit of work himself.
Yeah, he is the late game. I mean, I don't think M3 really need anyone else here. Oh my goodness, the ultimate comes through, but doesn't even manage to steal away anything. He hits one of the Rite of the Arcanes, but Dade going to survive just by walking away there. And Barker could have stolen himself a blue buff, but decides that he wanted to try and kill Dade. It's not going to be successful again.
Yeah, well, he could have got 2 birds with 1 stone if all 3 had a hit there. He would have got the blue buff and the Dade.
That's true.
Would have been best case scenario. In the end, goes for big damage there. Yeah, and doesn't get either. So we see now M3 moving in to secure their 4th dragon of the game. And I don't care how well you scale, you come up against a 4-dragon, 4-item Hecarim and LeBlanc in the late game, not to mention the fact that SMLZ is now nearly finished up his item build there with the QSS coming through and the Blade of the Ruined King now finished up. As soon as that hits 5 dragons, this game is over in everything but actually being played out.
Yeah, dragon is going to be completed. That's 4. For M3, 6 minutes on the clock here for Snake. We'll see whether they can actually make a move that's going to work out here because Dade just distorting away to wherever the heck he feels like it here on this Rift. And now Snake looking for Lupa again. Crystal does have a fair bit of damage, almost has the last Whisper completed, but Lupa just runs away.
And I really like what he did there. He made a move towards Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw had flashbacks of the... Oh, wow.
Okay. See ya, Barker. Is Beast actually going to find Dade here, but of course has the distortion, is going to try and get out of this one. There's the passive to come through, lands another chain here at the same time. Love City looking for it. The dive is on as Ella does Mikhail's himself. He is going to be okay. Flandre in the backside, managing to be a little bit frustrating. Death Sentence going wide there from Love City. Is M3 low health bars. Snake managing to hold on for now. Only 11 seconds left on Barker. M3 looking to continue. Oh my goodness. Okay, Ella, sorry about that one. Is the Lantern just going to be taken from Love City and Dade gets out scot-free.
Yeah, and it looks like a fun game now for Dade.
It certainly is.
Saying,
I mean, he may not have a smile on his face just yet, but that's just Dade. I'm sure on the inside, he's very happy.
Well, I think what he's actually doing is like, can I have a Lantern, please? And they're like, where do you want me to throw it? Because we actually don't know where you're going at the moment. You just killed a support. And you saw the Lantern was complete confusion. Do I throw it where his first distort was? Was it the second one? He also flashed in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. He has the ability to move around this map. As Ella has respawned now as well, saying, oh, yeah, you're all fancy with your moves. 9-2-4, though, under Dade. It's not just being fancy, it's been pretty good at the video game, and he's certainly playing well this one. Crystal going to continue clearing out this bottom wave. No one actually going to answer that one. He's going to get back to base safely. Now going to have that last Whisper completed. 3-item Kog'Maw, nothing to scoff at, but M3, they've got basically 4.5-item Kalista, which is very, very frightening.
Yeah, they've got pretty much finishes the game, Callisto. Apart from the Mercurial Scimitar, not much more to come through, and you see Flandre might be the one to check this brush.
Condi uses the enemy Raptor buff, which is always frustrating. He's going to be able to clear out that vision.
And Baron is a very real objective once again.
Yep. Well, Baron actually almost seems like something that M3 can take on a whim at this stage. Look at the vision. It's a Christmas tree of lights as Beast. Not going to get knocked up by Condi here as Flandre looking to get something done, but Explosive Cast just going to be used to try and stop M3 from progressing.
That is an important ultimate there, because that is all they have to really get rid of SMLZ at this point. And Dade, with just 2 spells, does about a half of Beast's health, and that's the tankiest member on the map nearly at this point. Beast a little bit far behind, not having a fantastic game. But Baron, that's secured now.
Yep, easily. And Dade making sure that no one from Snake can come anywhere near that pit. Baron's going to fall down. Callisto, of course, probably rending that one from about 4,000 health, which is close to its maximum, which is just a little bit ridiculous. Able to really lock that one down. And with the Blade of the Ruined King now as well, there is no realistic way that Snake can do anything because that Baron falls so quickly.
Yeah, and this is the one thing about the Callisto build, is that if there isn't enough damage to deal with her, now she's got double life still. Even Flandre really doesn't do that much with the Thornmail coming through because she just gets so much back. She's not going to kill people as quickly as Kog'Maw, but it takes a lot to be able to catch up and continually deal with this Callisto without the lockdown CC that we're used to seeing in Snake's comps.
Yeah, and these Baroned up minions as well are going to take a lot of Crystal's auto attacks to take down, as well as Dade just being a nuisance here. Pushing through the bottom wave. Looper actually going to use the ultimate here as Barker always seems to be the focus. Going to flash out of the way here as Condi has found his way in. Beast with a bit of a zoning barrel there, as well as Looper is going to take a little bit of an ability from Barker there on the backside. Condi looking to try and take down this inhibitor now as well. It has survived thus far as there's the ultimate to come down from SMLZ. He gets barreled back as well. Condi very, very low as Flandre trying to be a nuisance. Death sentence on the Crystal though. That is the big deal. The double kill. The inhibitor goes down. Barker's going to get exploded by Dade. And my goodness, M3, they're going to be able to win the game off that one.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be the case. They're going for a second inhibitor. They've already got a creep wave in the base. The surrender actually comes through, and M3, 18,000 gold.
You can understand the surrender most definitely coming through Spawn. That was a very different M3 that we saw on that Rift. And I thought, you know, we saw the Shyvana with the Smite come back. The Cinderhulk Dragon was going to be super cool to watch yet again, but it just did not work that game. Nothing that Snake tried to do worked, and it has to have something to do with the fact that you get Crystal off the Draven Callisto and just doesn't really know where to go.
Yeah, without the full-blown Juggernaut behind him was really easy prey. And
was it just that the comp didn't necessarily work here for Snake?
Yeah, I really think it was the pickup of the Janna over the Nami, to be honest. Didn't have a good lane to be able to go to. They had to swap around a lot. Flandre didn't get far enough ahead with that Smite. And from there, it was all about Condi's map pressure on Jarvan, heavily ganking. Dade, still not smiling, was able to go off in the mid lane and just take over the whole map along with his jungler.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what it takes to actually make Dade smile.
Playoffs.
Playoffs, do you reckon? Because I haven't actually seen it just yet. Well, we will see whether M3 are going to make it into the playoffs. But ladies and gentlemen, there are still 3 more matchups to go. World Elite going to be taking on Energy Pacemaker right after this break. Don't go anywhere.